It is better to offer no excuse than a bad one. It is better to be alone than in bad company. If freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led, like sheep to the slaughter. My mother was the most beautiful woman I ever saw. All I am I owe to my mother. I attribute my success in life to the moral, intellectual and physical education I received from her. Be courteous to all, but intimate with few, and let those few be well tried before you give them your confidence. True friendship is a plant of slow growth, and must undergo and withstand the shocks of adversity before it is entitled to appellation. Human happiness and moral duty are inseparably connected. I hope I shall possess firmness and virtue enough to maintain what I consider the most enviable of all titles, the character of an honest man. There is nothing which can better deserve our patronage than the promotion of science and literature. Knowledge is in every country the surest basis of public happiness. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire called conscience. Associate yourself with men of good quality, if you esteem your own reputation, for 'tis better to be alone than in bad company. Let us therefore animate and encourage each other, and show the whole world that a freeman, contending for liberty on his own ground, is superior to any slavish mercenary on earth. Happiness depends more upon the internal frame of a person's own mind, than on the externals in the world. Experience teaches us that it is much easier to prevent an enemy from posting themselves than it is to dislodge them after they have got possession. The turning points of lives are not the great moments. The real crises are often concealed in occurrences so trivial in appearance that they pass unobserved. I conceive a knowledge of books as the basis upon which other knowledge is to be built. Paper money has had the effect in your state that it will ever have, to ruin commerce, oppress the honest, and open the door to every species of fraud and injustice. Discipline is the soul of an army. It makes small numbers formidable, procures success to the weak, and esteem to all. We should not look back unless it is to derive useful lessons from past errors, and for the purpose of profiting by dearly bought experience. The great rule of conduct for us, in regard to foreign nations, is, in extending our commercial relations, to have with them as little political connection as possible. The great rule of conduct for us, in regard to foreign nations, is, in extending our commercial relations, to have with them as little political connection as possible. The nation which indulges toward another a habitual hatred or a habitual fondness is in some degree a slave. It is a slave to an animosity or to its affection, either of which is sufficient to lead it astray from its duty and its interest. Speak not evil of the absent, for it is unjust. Faith, as well-intentioned as it may be, must be built on facts. Do not spare any reasonable expense to come at early and true information, always recollecting, and bearing in mind, that vague and uncertain accounts of things are more disturbing and dangerous than receiving none at all. Experience has taught us, that men will not adopt and carry into execution measures best calculated for their own good, without the intervention of a coercive power. Envious of none, I am determined to be pleased with all, and this, my dear friend, being the order for my march, I will move gently down the stream of life until I sleep with my fathers. Those who have committed no faults want no pardon. We are only defending what we deem our indisputable rights. System to all things is the soul of business. To execute properly and act maturely is the way to conduct it to your advantage. Show not yourself glad at the misfortune of another though he were your enemy. You will agree with me in opinion that there is nothing which can better deserve your patronage than the promotion of science and literature. Knowledge is in every country the surest basis of public happiness. A knowledge of books is the basis upon which other knowledge is to be built. Make sure you are doing what God wants you to do, then do it with all your strength. It is best to be silent, for there is nothing more certain than that it is at all times more easy to make enemies than friends. Freedom and property rights are inseparable. You can't have one without the other.